a long time.
That's
why, brothers and sisters, I beg you, let's advise all our family members to all use nets. Because today, whenever anyone catches malaria in the family, the treatment cost may not be less than 100,000. And yet that money would have helped us to do something else in the family. We may have paid fees. We may have used it for farming. There are so many things that need money. Let's not spend every money, every income. We must make sure we splash around the compound. We must make sure we avoid stagnant waters around the homes. And that will help us a lot. About 10 years ago, there were a number of sese flies all over. But today I don't see them. Because there were traps provided to trap them everywhere. And that was good. Because if those traps were not put around, that would cause us diseases and would have no strength to do the work that God wants us to do, which farming is part. But now that there are no sese flies, let's get rid of others so that it will help us. I said there are a number of farming activities. Others farm in the gardens, in the swamps. And you find people with big chunks of farm. Others on small gardens. All that gives glory to God. Today, other people farm even around the compound. Courtyard farming. It's ilwoni furma balaza. And people plant their greens. A number of them. Instead of going to buy ball, you plant a few seeds of ball. As long as animals don't destroy them. People plant tomatoes around the veranda. Others plant onions on the sacks around the veranda, and many other types of greens. That is as well important, because the vegetables as well important. Every farmer knows this. I met someone who said vegetables will remain veggies. That greens are not nice. Every day physicians tell us to eat greens, and yet they don't use it. Why don't they advise us to consume meat? And my brothers and sisters, everyone needs to farm greens. Everyone will enjoy at home in the right way. If it rained like yesterday it did, don't over-scratch your head, but you have something within reach. If you have sukuma wiki around, you have your dodo near, and there is no money in the pockets, you may not think a lot. Therefore, people feed well. And actually, the body requires more of greens than anything else. And we can sell off the rest to our neighbors. And then we get some cash. You really think that will not be an income-generating activity? As we farm, as we plant a few of those things, can we put even 10,000 in the pocket? I pray that let's begin from that point, ladies and gentlemen. The drought is soon coming. Let someone plant at least some boar.
nitie moni majuwoki majutana fufa ikatale maduong kenyo.
There are women who sell greens in the main market.
Dano moro chwoyo fufa pere de kamlo ni kaspodo.
People plant greens as far as Kaspodo.
Tukelo pump tuchako kudhie pi.
And then they water their greens.
In a
few weeks, the greens are ready. And then they pick a few stems, that is 1,000. That time there's a lot of drought. And if you don't buy those greens, you can't serve people. Remember, there's no money at that time. You must buy those greens. And then these 3 stems of 1,000. How much of it do you need? And we keep looking at the other man watering his greens and taking to the main market. Others plant sukuma wiki. Others do dodo and others. Whatever is easy for you. That's why, brothers and sisters, that is good stewardship of God's creation. That is using the knowledge of farming to help us serve God the right way. We are not saying we may not buy. But we can also use our wisdom that by the time we are buying, we have saved something. That's why the coming drought season around January. Let everyone make a decision to plant some greens and make a decision to water them. In that way, we'll be taking a good care of God's creation. And in that way, God will be pleased with us. The other is stewarding what God has given us in the gardens. It's important to plant trees. Planting trees in our gardens and in our compounds is very good. Because today we don't have the bushes or the forests where we used to pick firewood from. I don't know where the forests have gone. But I think the number of people, the population, because of the big population, people have scattered the forests and made them gardens. Today we know that you may not go and pick firewood in anyone's gardens. You just have your trees. Like this gentleman, you keep cutting branches and then you leave them to dry. But when you leave your gardens without trees, if you leave your compound without trees planted, what else will you do? Where do we get the money to buy the charcoal from? Where do we get the money to buy the firewood from? That's why, brothers and sisters, planting trees is as well taking good care of what God has created. Let someone today in this season plant some trees at least, either in the garden or in the compound. That tree will help us. The goodness of trees. The trees, you may not water them so much. They just grow by themselves. That is not very costly. That's why you need to try to plant trees. As we plant the trees, let's plant the right trees. Let's not get the gardens where we are farming and then we put eucalyptus everywhere. Eucalyptus is not good for somewhere where we plant because it consumes a lot of water. Therefore, where we plant our crops, let's not put eucalyptus. There are gravilla trees. You may plant other types of trees because those feed from deep. Those will help us.
kwalo ndelo yen pa gere.
We will not go and steal other people's firewood. And then we begin to fight around. And then there's a bad testimony that a Christian stole firewood. That is not good. But all of us can plant just a few stems that can help us in the future. All of us need to do that. That will help us so much. We may sell that firewood and get some money. We may make some charcoal out of that. And they are also windbreakers. That is important. That's why someone ought to plant trees. Let's not just leave the compounds the way they are. We are sitting under these shades because someone planted the trees. And let us not say I'm too old to plant a tree. Just plant the trees and others will benefit from them. And then advise those that are coming to also plant others. It moves from generation to another. At least plant a tree in the compound for shade. Plant a tree for shade. Let's not leave the compound bare. And I say, me, I'm a Christian, I just need to pray. Every time I'll be praying, not planting trees. Other churches, people begin lunch hour from 8. All the time people are in church. And now people don't have time to go and farm the gardens. That is a one-legged gospel. The right gospel has to stand on two legs. The same way we preach to go to heaven, we also have to preach a good life on earth. Because other preachers of the gospel will say, tomorrow we are going to heaven, so sleep. No one knows the last day. It's only the Father who knows. And as we wait for that day, we don't have to sit. We have to do something. As we take care of what God has created, as we give God the glory. It's important. As we take a good care of God's creation, let's take good care of it as though it is ours. Because we are the managers. We are stewards. Let us do it the way we do to what is ours. Program leader said that if the president had come here, everyone will try their best. That they should be singing so that the president will see their singing. Everyone will try. I'm also saying, President Museveni is a farmer. He's a very... and he rears cattle. President Museveni loves cows a lot. That's what he farms. Once he's done with his government work, on weekend, find him with his staff taking care of his cows. Just imagine one day President Museveni comes to Rubongi and says, let's have ushers help the children around, please. And says, my brother or sister, or my daughter or son, I have my cows around. I want you to take care of these cows. In my own thinking, I think you can take good care of those cows than anything else. You can feed the cows many times. You can give them drinking water at the right time. You can shelter them so well. Sometimes once you know they are coming from the president, you may lay them on a mattress. You may even wire electricity in their shelter. You may tile their shelter because you know they are coming from the president. And you are taking care of the president's cows. That is for the president. Now, you are taking care of the cows of God. And it is God that created the president. How much more effort do you need to put in taking care of those cows? You have to take a very good care, higher than that you give to the presidents. You are taking care of of God's home. Everything is for God. How much more effort do you need to put? Just remember how we learned. That whether it's a house or cattle, everything is for God. Just like we learned from the book of Psalms. Psalms 24.
That the earth and its fullness, the earth and its fullness thereof belongs to the Lord.
Whatever is on earth, it's God's. Whether the land we are standing on, or the trees we plant, or the houses we build, everything you see belongs to God. That's why once we steward them, we have to take good care of them with all our strength, with all our might, with all our knowledge, because we are taking care of the king's things. The king of all kings. That's why when it's the right time to receive rewards, we'll be given the right reward. When the right time comes, what shall we be rewarded with? Once I'm asked my son, how did you take care of what I gave you? What will we say? I'll not be asked alone. You will also be asked, Fred, how did you take care of what God gave you? You and your family, how did you take care? There will be accountability. That's why, brothers and sisters, whatever God has put before us, let us try to take care of them with knowledge, with love, because they are from God. The goat you are taking care of is from God. The cow is from God. Whatever garden you have is from God. Everything is God. Let's not say we are just stewards. And the job says, that one is not translated in America. That as you take care of what does not belong to you, the owner comes and asks you whatever I entrusted you with. I want to use it because I have something to sort. Please give it to me. Even if the goat was gestating, you'll give it to them because it is theirs. You are only steward. That's why as we steward, we have to keep them so well, because the owners can come for them anytime. And you can't tell them that I will not give it to you, that wait for next year. There you will not be doing the right thing. Therefore, let's take good care of what God has created with a lot of strength and effort, with a lot of knowledge, with enough fear of God.
Now,
being a steward,
responsibility.
That is a responsibility. Because you have been entrusted with a cow, you have been entrusted with land. That is responsibility. And that responsibility is a gift. God has given us gifts. The gift of a land. Grandpa, senior, God has given us gifts. That's why that gift, we have to take good care of those gifts, because that's responsibility that God has given us. That's why we ask ourselves, How do we keep what God has given us? We take good care of what God has given us? And when the owner asks for it, what shall we say? That land God has given us, that is work God has given us, that we have to take care of that. That's why when we steward that land, we have to do it while knowing or looking up to God.